Fun fact, man, when you clicked on this video, you thought I was wearing a Pistons hat, and you didn't think I was wearing my glasses, man. Is that correct? It was an old picture. I saw it on my desktop. I was like, you know what? I'm going to use this for the thumbnail, man, right? So, for today's video, we have an article by Bleacher Report. I've been having a lot of fun with these as of late. I like when Bleacher Report gets, like, creative with their articles, because usually for, like, the longest time, every other day, I was reacting to, like, which player will be traded? Which, I guess in theory, this is a trade video, but still, it kind of has more interesting, like, game aspect to it. Playing trade or keep with every NBA team's best trade asset, guys. So we're going to go through every single team up in here, and I'm going to give you guys my opinion if I think they should trade or keep that player. Let me know in the comment section below, guys, who is the biggest trade bargain on your favorite team, and do you think they should be traded or kept? For the Pistons, it has to be Derrick Rose. Just a great contract, expiring deal, and a guy that can go on literally any team and make them a better team, right, man? So here we go. Let's get going on this. And also, of course, we'll check out Bleacher Report's, answers and stuff like that. But the first player we have is John Collins. This guy needs to be traded. He's already talked about wanting a max contract. I don't think he's really worth that. I think the Hawks would be a lot better off just going for some different type of players. You already got Gallinari on the team who can be the starting power forward and stretch the floor and stuff like that. John Collins, very talented. I just think in his mind, he's a little ahead of what he really is. He's a talented player that deserves to get paid, no doubt. I would not give him a super max or max contract, though, whatever it is he's looking for. I just don't think he's like the answer to the Hawks winning a championship in the long term. So yeah, trade him, in my opinion. And they agree the verdict is trade. Next up, we got Marcus Smart. Keep. Like, that one's just easy. Definitely keeping Marcus Smart. I mean, this guy just like, he's just like so big as far as like the team's identity and just being like that guy that you can always, count on to give it 100%, man. So, can play point guard, shooting guard, can guard, 3-4 positions on the court. Yeah, you definitely want to keep a guy like that if you're trying to win a championship. And verdict is keep. Kyrie Irving, man. Kyrie Irving. Okay. Ooh. Oh, my second favorite team, the Brooklyn Nets. Do I keep Kyrie or do we screw him over? Random screw laying around. That's some crispy improv for the day, man. By screw over, I mean he came to this team, now you're going to trade him away. That's kind of disrespectful. It's so early to tell, man. I feel like there's ways to make this team better and fix some of their issues that does not revolve around trading away Kyrie Irving. Like, I feel like there's some sort of, like, defensive 7-foot center on the market they can go for. There's guys like that they can go as far as just, like, improving the roster. James Harden, he only shot 14 times in his first game with Kyrie, but he did have a triple-double. It's only one sample size. I think you keep Kyrie. If I'm being honest, man, I feel like you keep Kyrie for right now. Get to me around the trade deadline, but right now it's too early to tell. And I mean, he's such a talented player. Had 37 points. Keep him for now. Get back to me in a month on this one, though. And their verdict is to keep. Okay, that's fine. Charlotte Hornets, Devontae Graham. I think you probably trade him away. He's still on his minimum contract deal, which is only $1.62 million. And with that being said, LaMelo's ready to start. You got Terry Rozier. Malik Monk, I think, needs some more minutes out there to really prove himself, although he's been given opportunities in the past. But regardless, Devontae Graham is a guy that can go out there and help some contending teams as far as just being like a knockdown shooter. Efficiency is kind of off. I think a lot of that is probably mental with him, though. I mean, last year wasn't the most efficient player, but still put up good numbers. But a lot of that I just think is just the back of his mind is LaMelo's going to take my spot. So I think you probably, based off that cheap contract, you trade him away and you get some pretty good assets back for him, right? And the verdict is to trade, yes. Zach LaVine for the Bulls. This one is actually pretty easy. You definitely keep Zach LaVine. To me, if Zach LaVine is the Bulls' best player, they're not going to win a championship. But if you can find that next piece, if you can convince that big-name free agent to come and be the number one option while Zach LaVine is your number two, depending on who that number one option is, I really think that is your best bet for winning a championship. Zach LaVine's contract, based off the numbers he puts up, is absolutely fantastic. He's a lot of fun to watch. Bulls fans love to watch him. I don't see any reason to trade him whatsoever. And the verdict is to trade. Yeah, I do not agree with that one at all. Really good, really good salary, man. He just, They just need that number one option. He puts up number one option numbers, but there's a difference between doing that and also doing that and winning championships, right? So, great player, though. Next up, we got the Cleveland Cavaliers with Andre Drummond. I feel like you probably trade him away. Just because, I think what they're going to do is they're going to keep him for this season because he's on the final year of his contract. And then really a big reason why I think they got Jarrett Allen, because Jarrett Allen has a pretty friendly contract for a center. So I feel like they're going to use that as a way to kind of like leverage themselves into a better deal with Andre Drummond. They're going to be like, hey, Drummond, like you can sign this damn, $15 million deal. You can walk away because we got Jarrett Allen. So I think that's probably going to happen. I don't know, man. I could see a team like the Celtics or somebody like that, like going for him though, because he is on that expiring deal, and the Cavaliers do have a lot of centers on their team. So I mean, I don't really know, man. But after the win against the Brooklyn Nets, it's like maybe the Cavaliers are going all in trying to do some things this season, right? So I would personally trade him because you already got Jarrett Allen. But I could see why you would keep him too, especially if his trade value is not very high. Look at the Pistons last year. Verdict is to trade. Yeah, I'm kind of either or on him. Next up, we got the Dallas Mavericks with Tim Hardaway Jr. So Tim Hardaway is the definition of hot or cold. Some games he goes crazy. Some games he's just not. Last year was his best season of his NBA career. This season, it seems like, whenever I see a stat line, he's not doing too good. But, I don't watch the Mavericks every single night. But last game I checked, he was like 0 for 10. So I think you probably keep him. I don't really see him having an extremely large trade value where you're going to get some third guy to put behind Luka and Kristaps. So I say you probably just keep him, hope that he becomes more of what he was last year, and keep verdict for him. That's fine. Denver Nuggets with Michael Porter Jr. I think you have to keep him. I know it's been a little disappointing with him so far. When he does play, he looks amazing, but you see so many injury potential with him that it's really kind of scary. And in my opinion, that's been a big reason why the Nuggets have struggled at times, because they got rid of Jeremy Grant, Mason Plumlee, thinking that guys like Michael Porter, and Bol were ready to go and kind of fill in those spots. Michael Porter's, viewed to be the third star of this team, and it's been a lot of what ifs. What if this guy was completely healthy? So I think he's too young, he's too good, potentially good to give up on right now. Give another season or two, but for right now, I think you still keep him on the team, and that is the verdict is to keep. Next up, Pistons Derrick Rose trade. Easy. I mean, there's no point in keeping him right now. I think he was mainly kept to mentor Killian Hayes, but Hayes is probably out for most, if not the entire season. And Derrick Rose expiring deal, you don't really see him coming back next year. He's been pretty solid, and yeah, I think if the Pistons could get anything back for him, a second round draft pick or whatever, you do it, right? Next up, we got Golden State, Minnesota's 2021 first round pick. Bro, they all have that? Bro, that might be the damn first pick in the draft. Ooh. I think you keep that. I mean, I guess in theory you could package it with Kelly Oubre or Andrew Wiggins or even a Draymond Green and go for a star player. Maybe there's a trade to have to get Bradley Beal or somebody like that. But we got to remember Klay Thompson's coming back next season. But Klay Thompson also is coming off 2 straight years of season-ending injuries. There's a lot of really solid guards in the in this next draft class and stuff. And I mean, they already have James Wiseman at center. They don't really need him. But, yeah, you got Cade Cunningham. You got Evan Mobley, who I think would be a great replacement for Draymond Green eventually. Him with James Wiseman would be freaking, just atrocious to have to deal with. But I think they probably keep him, man. I don't really, they got a pretty solid record right now anyway. Unless that, next star player really is heavily available. Maybe even a Ben Simmons. I don't really know. But, yeah, verdict is to keep. I kind of agree with that. Houston Rockets, Victor Oladipo. It depends. If Oladipo's not all in. Okay, I guess I think about it like this. The Rockets' best young player is Christian Wood. Outside of them, they have Oladipo, who's, injury prone, kind of up there in age. Not really old, but, getting there. John Wall, injury prone. DeMarcus Cousins, injury prone. If the Rocket fans don't expect to win a championship, then I think at this point, if you have any, indication that Victor Oladipo plans on leaving in the offseason, you just trade him away and get something back for him right now to help you kind of go into a rebuild or something like that. So, yeah, I'm going to say probably trade. There we go. Pacers, Miles Turner, keep, him and Sabonis. It's just, I like what they do out there. Miles Turner, yes, he's not a 20-point per game scorer, but his defense is absolutely amazing. Potentially be defensive player of the year if you ask me. While Sabonis is more like the scoring-oriented guy that needs that defensive player alongside him to really excel and not give up too much points on the other side of the court, right? So I think you keep him. If I'm being quite honest, I have no idea what to do with this Pacers team to make them a better team. I mean, they already have pretty decent all-around players. TJ Warren obviously being out kind of sucks, but beyond that, man, I'm supposed to be doing a Pacers rebuild on my main channel, Crispy Flakes. I just haven't yet because I don't know what changes to actually make. I like their starting 5. So unless there's a superstar trade available, I think you kind of rock it out with him, right? And the verdict is to trade. Okay, I do not agree with that. Next up, we got Ivica Zubac for the Clippers. Good energy guy. I mean, I don't really know what type of trade value Zubac has, or Zubac. That's how you pronounce it, I believe. I think you just keep him, I guess. I guess you already do have Serge Ibaka, but yeah, it's a nice little rotation to have. I think you probably keep them. And yeah, they actually currently have the best record in the NBA too, or at least in the Western Conference. I think overall in the NBA. So yeah, don't fix it if it ain't broke, or break it if it ain't fixed. Huh? Don't fix it if it ain't. Oh, don't. Okay. Talen Horton Tucker. Ooh, this one's tough, man, because like Talen Horton, I see some potential with him, bro. But at the same time, is it like a fluke or is he the real deal? Because there's a lot of teams that would definitely take a chance on him. And I do think he's going to be one of those guys that in free agency, there's going to be some team that pays a lot of money for this kid right here just to take that chance. I think you probably keep him though if you're the Lakers, right? He seems to have a big fan base there. So keep is the verdict. Yeah, I'm kind of cool with that. Memphis Grizzlies, Kyle Anderson. Keep him. Just, I always say this about really good teams. Every single team has that Draymond Green type of player that just kind of puts everything together, right? I think obviously for the Warriors, it is Draymond Green. There's plenty of other good examples out there, man. And I feel like for the Memphis Grizzlies, that is Kyle Anderson. The Houston Rockets, I thought last year was always like PJ Tucker. Just those guys you can count on. Like Bruce Brown on the Nets, I think is that guy over there. So yeah, I think you definitely keep Kyle Anderson. He just has that good quality of just being a guy that you can just count on to give it his all. My Marcus Smart on the Boston Celtics, obviously. Okay, they said trade. Okay, well, I'm going to keep him. Next up, Tyler Hero for the Heat. Keep. Yeah. I mean, there was already talks about, like, Draymond Green, or not Draymond, James Harden rumors, and, like, there was a lot of Heat fans that did not even want James Harden for Tyler Hero. I think at that point, like, the city would probably come, like, crumbling and burning down. Like, there'd be a lot of heat on the Miami Heat if they traded away Tyler Hero. You definitely keep this kid. Yes. Dante DiVincenzo. So they already tried trading him. So yeah, apparently they were already going down that route. Being like a 24-year-old that can play both positions, point guard and shooting guard, just a good solid scorer. I think you probably keep him. Unless like Bogdan would have actually been a really good fit, so I would have been okay with that. So I think it depends on the trade, but if the trade's not right, you obviously keep him, but I guess that's in any case, right? And there's it to keep. Okay. Minnesota Timberwolves, Jarrett Culver, trade him right now while he has trade value, man. He was the 6th pick. I always say 4th. One of my subscribers got mad at me. 6th pick in the draft. Or was he 7th? Somebody else said 7th. I don't really know, man. This kid was drafted at some point in his life in the NBA. But regardless, I see, good, like, flashes of brilliance from this kid where, like, his athleticism really shows. But also I see that Minnesota is, like, last in the Western Conference right now. And also, it just seems like this kid has not broken out yet. I mean, it's only his 2nd season in the NBA, but it might be a case where maybe there is a fit. It's just not with this team, and you don't want him to lose his confidence. We can see what that can do to a player. Look at guys like Kevin Knox in years past, although Knox has been pretty decent this year. But regardless, I think you trade him right now if you're the Timberwolves. It just does not clear to be a good fit. And you could probably still get him while his stock is not at an all-time high because we know what he is right now, but you could probably still get something pretty decent back for him. So trade is the verdict. Okay, Lonzo Ball. Main channel, Crispy Flakes, guys. There is a Lonzo Ball trade video going up. I think you trade him away, and I don't think it's his fault at all. I just think that when it comes down to Lonzo, he's not a good fit with Stan Van Gundy. I do think he's a good fit on the Pelicans, though, which pisses me off. I just feel like he's still a good fit, but not in Van Gundy's system. Get something back for him. I do think, man, I said this on my Twitter account at CrispyFlakesUK, that I think Lonzo is going to have a Chauncey Billups type of journey where it's going to take a few years for him to find that perfect spot, but once he does, man, watch out. And yeah, I think you probably trade him, though. New York Knicks, cap space. Keep. The Knicks are looking pretty good this season. That's not room with the good thing. They said trade the cap space. Okay. OKC Thunder, George Hill, trade. I mean, you're already stacking up draft picks. The Thunder have actually been pretty fun to watch, though, but, I think there's room to, like, develop other, like, guards and stuff on this team, and George Hill, you could probably get, like, a 2nd-rounder back for him, so why not stockpile some more draft picks, man? Trade is the verdict. Okay, Orlando Magic, Vucevic, no, sorry, that was mean. I think with Vucevic, like, it's so tough, because if we look at the Magic, you gotta look at their fan base, look at their team, and be like, what is your ultimate goal? The ultimate goal is to win a championship. Do you feel like as constructed right now, this team can win the championship? Because if not, I think you trade Vucevic away, get something good back for him, develop Mo Bamba, or you keep Vucevic, but hey, it's time to let go of Mo Bamba and you go from there, man. Me personally speaking, like the Magic, I mean, I feel like the Magic fans are having fun. Cole Anthony's game winner was epic. I say you probably keep him. You probably keep him. They said trade. Yeah, I'm not against that either. I'm really either or on him. I do realize he is past, he's like 30, so yeah, how many more good years does he have left? Not really sure. Plus, he's had injury issues in the past. 76ers, Ben Simmons. Okay, this one's interesting. Been a lot of Ben Simmons hate as of late. I do understand stats have not really gone up the past few seasons. I still think he's a really good player, and I feel like he's kind of embraced being the second guy on the team to Joel Embiid. There's still some really good shooters on this team. He still does a lot of good things out there. I think you probably keep Ben Simmons. But if there's a trade out there to maybe get like a Bradley Beal, I would definitely entertain it. But I think overall you keep Ben Simmons unless the trade is absolutely perfect for this team. Maybe you get Bradley Beal. You decide to go with Tyrese Maxey as your starting point guard. That's kind of okay too. They say verdict is keep. Okay. Phoenix Suns, DeAndre Ayton, keep. Just had a beast-ass game the other night. He's had a slow start to the season. Offensively, defensively, still been pretty nice though. But overall, this kid's still really young. He still has, all the talent in the world. I think you definitely keep him, man. No reason to really trade him away right now. Portland, CJ McCollum. I've always been on the trade CJ bus, and the reason I say that is not because CJ is a bad player. It's just because I feel like what he does is too similar to the skill set of Damian Lillard, and over the past few seasons, it's not really led to a championship, so why not trade CJ, who is a great all-star shooting guard, caliber shooting guard, and trade him for something out there, an all-star caliber player that has a different skill set from Damian Lillard, and thus will help this team win basketball games in different ways. So I'm on the trade thing with him. Plus, they say keep. Well, also, they got Gary Trent, though. I think Gary Trent can definitely, start that two-spot, too, and do some things. Marvin Bagley III. I feel like the Sacramento Kings, they got like De'Aaron Fox, Tyrese Halliburton's been nice. I feel like you keep Marvin Bagley. There's been moments where I said trade him away, but at the same time, it's like, why not keep him? He's been injured for a few seasons and stuff, really since he's been in the NBA. I think he's been pretty healthy this year. Keep him to see what happens, man. Like, the Kings have not exactly been like a hot free agent destination, so that's how you're going to have to build this team is just by the draft and giving these kids, a bigger chance and stuff, even when, when push comes to shove. Their verdict is a trade. DeMar DeRozan, okay, so he's been really nice for the Spurs to see. The Spurs in general have been good. He is on his player option. I guess if you bring him back next year, then, it probably won't be for as much money. So maybe just like the Spurs want to keep him for that reason. I don't know. Like the Spurs, they look like a playoff team. So if you're just trying to make the playoffs, you keep them. But if you want to go into a rebuild and kind of speed things up, you can probably get something pretty decent back for him. So I'm going to say keep if you want to make the playoffs. And their verdict is trade. That's fine too. Kyle Lowry, Toronto Raptors. Okay, so this one definitely, sadly, needs to be trade. Kyle Lowry is the heart and soul of the Toronto Raptors, but he is up there in age. He's on an expiring deal. There's no guarantee he comes back to the team. And even so, it's like Fred VanVleet, while he is a shooting guard, I think needs to be the starting point guard of the team. And Lowry can really help out a contender right now. And I think you could really get some good value. And that's really like hard to say about guys that are like 33, 34 years of age. Like sometimes it's hard to get good value for those guys on expiring deals. But I do think there's quite a few teams out there that would bite at a chance to have Kyle Lowry as their starting point guard, for a postseason run. So I think you probably trade him. Next up, we got Joe Ingles of the Utah Jazz. Indifferent. The Jazz have been pretty good this season, so I say you probably keep Joe Ingles. Like, you know what you get out of him. And once again, I still feel like he's like the Draymond of this team, just like the grit and grind player. Keep. Okay, Washington Wizards, Bradley Beal. It's time to trade him away. Sadly, man, going to a full-on rebuild. Get some, the man's leading the NBA in scoring, so you're going to get like damn 4 or 5 first-round picks for him. It's time to trade him, sadly, but surely, man. That's all we got for this video. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed it. Be sure to drop that like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and peace out, my friends.